In this video, I adjust the valve clearance on my 2016 R1200R. The video is a little rough. It's a compilation of clips from several efforts, but I hope that if you're getting ready to do the same job on your bike, it will help you prepare. The first thing I did was find firing top dead center. I've got a 1/4-inch dowel inserted through the spark plug hole, and I have the bike in 6th gear. And I'm using the rear wheel to turn the engine over, watching the dowel to give me an idea when I'm close to top dead center. And then the final check is when the ends of those two cams line up in a straight line, you're at top dead center. You know you're at firing top dead center from the position of that upper lobe, cam lobe, which is at about 10 or 11 o'clock. When it's pointed outward like that, that's firing top dead center.
What you got there, dog? Hey.
The next thing I did was to mark the cam gears so I could put them back in the same position when I was done.
.152.
Next step, measure the clearances.
.127. .139. .139.
The aft intake valve clearance is difficult to measure. It's difficult to get to. You can measure behind that rocker arm on the back side of the clearance, but as you notice there, it's different from the front side. So anyway, you can watch what I do here and see what you think.
127. .406. .406. .406. .381. .381.
Next step is to remove the cam cap. Nine bolts. I had some difficulty getting the cam cap off. That was true on both sides. There's really no trick. There's a couple of pins that hold it, and there's a vacuum where it seats against the cams. But you just jimmy it and jiggle it, and finally it'll pop off of there. Next, remove the shims. I use a little magnetic tool here to grab them. I only took out 2 here in this clip. There's actually 4. They're all very easy to get to. The bookkeeping on this job is significant. There's 8 shims, left and right, fore and aft, intake and exhaust. And you've got your existing clearance and then the shim thickness, which is what I'm measuring here. And then your desired clearance, all which lead to the size of the shim you need to purchase. So keeping tabs on all the numbers is the name of the game here. So my new shims came in the mail. Time to install them. Nothing to it.
In. Is that?
Now I'm going to jump ahead. I've actually completed the work on the right hand side. You can see the cam cap has been reinstalled. I'm now working on the left hand side where the cams are presently removed, and what I'm doing is going to find firing top dead center for the left hand side using the cams on the right hand side. You see there it's at firing top dead center. You can tell by the position of that lobe. That means the left hand side is at exhaust top dead center. So we're going to go around one more revolution here. That will put the right hand side at exhaust top dead center and the left hand side at firing top dead center. I mentioned earlier that it's not a good idea to have all 4 cams removed at once because then you lose that reference. So you see here where I'm using the right hand side to determine the correct position for the left hand side to reinstall the cams, which we'll get to here in just a second. So there you see the cam cap is removed. I'm going to install all 4 shims on the left hand side here. Now the gears go back in place, and I'm going to rely on the fingernail polish marks that I made previously. Just like taking it off, putting it back on takes a little jiggling and jimmying, but when you get it right, you know it. Little dog hair there. I'm not sure how that got in there. So I've got the cam cap back on snug, and I'm going to check those the alignment on those cams and make sure I got that right. And I do. Now it's time to put all 9 bolts in, and the repair manual directs that the bolts be tightened sequentially. It doesn't give any particular order, but I'm sure that getting those all in evenly is critical, that being a high performance, high speed part of the engine there. I got them all barely tool tight. Now I'm going to switch to my torque wrench. They take only 10 Newton meters. Final check on the clearances. Make sure I didn't put the wrong shims in the wrong spot or something.
Good, good, good. Nice.
And now time to reinstall the cover. One comment I'll make here is that that bolt right there, I'm tightening right there, has to be 100% tight before the right hand bolt, which is not installed yet, is even started. And here's why. The right hand bolt installs that cover, which covers the left hand bolt. So unlike the cam cap, which is so critical to get uniformly tightened, that can't be done for the valve cover. I had trouble getting that bolt back in. It took me a while to realize it's at a backward angle. I'm happy to report I've put about 1,000 miles on this bike since this work was done, and it runs well.